Rome is the New York City of Italy. Tens of thousands of buildings and a gigantic pit of structures, all shapes and sizes smashed together between streets and waterways. Out of all these structures, thousands of them are left standing from ancient Rome, all holding historic significance to the history and culture of the city.
Oh, you didn't think we can do it again? Records.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we do a real thing in 2007.
Stepping off the Fabricio Bridge and into Rome, you are welcomed by a monument hiding in the bushes. It's hard to see from the street. The temple was built in the 2nd century BC. The Greek style and unusual design caused it to long be mistaken honoring another Greek god until Napoleon correctly identified it as the Temple of Hercules. Today, the peaceful courtyards which surround the temple create a mystical feeling.
Another cool monument here, not really sure how much of a tourist attraction this one particularly is, but this is actually a temple for Hercules. And I'm a big mythology fan, love these guys, and of course there's a lot of question about how much of the stories of Hercules were true. Of course, Hercules was a real person, and he might have been a hero, and maybe some of the stories are fabrications, but Hercules was a real guy, we know that. And this is the temple they built for him right here, and this is actually one of the oldest temples in Rome, and it's really cool. It's right here, not too far away from the Colosseum, a beautiful little courtyard. You can't go inside, but this is the official temple that the Romans built for Hercules. So I think this is a really cool thing. There's not a lot of tourists here. I don't even know how many people know about this. Maybe we'll become really strong if we sit here long enough, you know? Hey, anything can happen in Rome, right?
Just up the street lies one of Rome's most ancient locations. It appears as an overgrown park, but it's really an ancient footprint right in the middle of the city. This permanent imprint from the 6th century BC belongs to the Circus Maximus, a massive super stadium that hosted a magnitude of events including the Olympic Games, festivals, circuses, and of course, chariot racing. The track is 13 football fields long and can accommodate over 150,000 sporting fans, making it the largest sports venue and structure in Rome. None of the stadium structure remains, yet its imprint still shows us what things may have looked like. The gravel bottom maps out where the track may have been, and the grass-covered hills help to visualize the lower levels of the seating area.
So this is just such a cool area. This is the kind of stuff that I really get excited about in particular, because we're standing out here shooting some stuff, and it's just like they raced chariots back in the day here. You know, how cool is that? And also just kind of these hills around where the spectators would have been, just thinking about just the ancientness of this park. And you know, there's a lot of people just hanging, going for a jog, having a picnic, and it's like people used to come out here to see events. And of course, when it first started off, it was known for the chariot races, and really what it ended up being was a huge circus fairground for the traveling circuses. Very cool park.
As you travel deeper into ancient Rome, you come to one of Rome's more telling and informative landmarks. Blending into the neighboring buildings, tour buses certainly don't stop here, and most tourists walk right past on the way to the Colosseum. The grounds of the theater of Marcellus and the Temple of Apollo look more like structural graveyards than they do important pieces of history from the ancient city. Built in 13 BC, this was the first open-air theater in Rome, hosting only high-profile events largely used by leaders who put on weddings, anniversaries, inaugurations. The architectural style led to the design of the Colosseum and influenced the classic architectural style of ancient Rome.
This is really one of the more interesting historic sites we've come across. So you can see a clear line where the top of the front of the theater used to be, and now where there's apartments. Once this stadium was out of commission for a while, a royal family decided to purchase it and build their living quarters on top. Today they're now single dwelling apartments. So it's just kind of interesting to see. And while this is now once again an operational theater, this is really just the facade. This is not ever used for entering or exiting events. This is just kind of like a historic facade that they have built. And then of course we have across the way the remains of what was once a very popular monument amongst the Roman people.
Across the courtyard from the theater, another symbolic structure of ancient Rome attempts to remain standing on its last few legs. Towering over a pile of its own rubble, the Temple of Apollo has not had the same luck of some of Rome's other ancient structures. Only 3 columns remain from the once monstrous temple. Even a close look cannot provide any kind of a hint or good idea at what this temple may have looked like in its full glory. Like too many structures in Rome, one day the remains will crumble away and become another lost piece of the ancient city. The city makes you work to discover these landmarks. When you do, you can begin to better uncover the image of Rome and slowly realize what it was truly like in this ancient city.